going to speak about the dust control through implosion. As you know, and as Robert Klotzbach told us this morning, dust is really a big problem in demolition industry because dust is like water. Dust can cross the border too, you know. So it's the reason why I'm a specialist of implosion, and I did my best to reduce. I worked to reduce the dust for the last about 10 years. I don't know how it works. Second one. Next. Okay. Back. Okay, for example, I blasted a very big building inside a northeast quarter, and it takes about a week with 10 people to clean all the blocks all around the building. Instead, I take a lot of precautions, and I circle all the building with curtain and handed by a lot of cranes. You know, all force dust suppression equipment has to varying degrees tackled the problem of dust migration in traditional forms of mechanical demolition. You know, you can use dust fighters, water cannon, and a lot of dust and a lot of water cannon can be efficient. Explosive demolition has for many years remained something of a dust black spot. Like you see, the cloud, very impressive. This is another cloud of a demolition managed by my colleague Cordem, close to Avignon. For example, in 1992, I blasted a big power plant close to Paris, which were in Vitry, in the outskirts. The power plant was very close to the Seine River, and the black cloud dust, which were very, very thick with coal, flowed till Notre Dame, which were about 6 to 7 kilometers west from the blast, because the dust following the river. Existing resources to fight dust dispersion through explosive demolition are generally after the shot, so it's too late, because we generate the dust during the shot with explosive inside the columns and also during the fall down. So sometimes we can think the rain can help, but it doesn't help because the rain generally sticks the dust on the constructions. So you can multiple the men with multiple hoses, but it's no match for such a large-scale creation of dust, because the dust is created in a very short time, which is about between 5 to 15 seconds, no more. So in the industry, during the 80s, the 90s, Helmut Roller, who is a manager from Roller Spring Technique, Germany, tested 1 cubic meter waterproof packs to generate a water fog all around an imploded building and synchronize it with the implosion. He called these systems the water bombs, filled with water, were blown up by a 1 kilogram explosive concentrate load and generated an about 40 meters high water cloud, water fog. Helmut tested these and used the system for the first time on a public real implosion. He awarded for the main reason he proposed his dust suppression system to his client. In fact, the client was an insurance company. It was 15 years ago. It takes place, 15 years ago. The dust suppression was successful, but in fact, it has broken a lot of windows in the neighborhood due to the air pressure induced by the system. 1 kilogram explosive should be too much, okay? On the same way, the Czechoslovakians used the water bags inside the buildings they imploded. I don't know, it takes place 25 years ago. But these bags were free of any explosive charge, and by the way, not very efficient. I have an occasion to explore a new system to demolish a building without any dust generation. It was a big building, some big building, which were about 20,000 square meter office building, including an asbestos cement lost formwork. So I decided to do a contained implosion without generation of any dust. I was lucky because I can do a test on a similar small building on the same site. It were a small, about 120 square meters buildings with a cellar, because it were the pump building. Okay, and it includes the same asbestos cement formwork. We confining the building with curtain of fabric and propylene net. And we generate firefight soap foam inside and outside the construction to be blasted. The small building were totally filled with foam and covered with the curtain of fabric. So you see the demolition blast, and after the blast, you see no dust anyway. It takes about 24 hours for the ball to go down, to fall down, okay? So we decided, after the test, to demolish the big building on the same way with asbestos cement lost formwork. So you see here, back. These are the generators of foam. We were expected to produce about 200,000 cubic meters of foam in 20 minutes. It's a challenge. So we have to, it was a very special job. You see the building covered with the curtain of fabric. These are, in red, the blasting holes. The production of foam. See the foam, it's dust. And now the building implosion. Okay, you see the curtain inflated like a wind bag. See the building implosion with no dust, okay? We confine all the dust. You see here, so we have to two water basins of 400 cubic meters of water, because you have to produce a lot of foam, you know. So this operation was a success, but in fact it's not very used to find this kind of situation, a building with an asbestos cement closed formwork. But this test, well, with removing the debris under wet protection and asbestos PPE, okay, excuse me. So this first experience made me, I don't know the term, excuse me, encouraged me to pursue the job in through dust control, through implosion. So we tested on the general implosion, excuse me, another system, which is a German one, used for forest fires. To fight the forest fires, it consists in two hoses joined. Each hoses, which are maximum 100 meters length, receive a detonating code. It's generally 50 grams or 100 grams a meter. So they are detonating all together. So it's like when you clap in the water, you create a curtain of water, vertical. And what is important is the way, the life of the curtain. But the system is very difficult to synchronize with the demolition. But it works sometimes. And the advantage is from Helmut system is that you can adjust the length of the hoses, so and the explosives load charge, yes, according to the proximity of the construction to protect. Okay. So we use this system, I don't know, for about 10 times about. But for 10 times, I think it works only 3 times, no more. But when it works, it's really very nice and very efficient. Yeah. As you see during the implosion. See all the water which kept all the dust, because it were really very good synchronized with the demolition. You can see all around the building, there is no dust on the street. It's very clean, because by creating very thin drops, you increase the exchange area of the water. Inside the water, we had also a soap, yeah, to stick and to increase the exchange of the water to keep the maximum of dust. This was the success, and now when it doesn't work, okay, it's horrible. And we use, you can see the hoses, but in fact, they were, okay, here, they were destroyed by the implosion, yeah. Another time, the wind helped us, but you know, they were used with long period delay nonel, but the synchronization on long period nonel is not sufficient to create the flap, you know. So the curtain doesn't move very high, about 10 meters instead of 30. So it doesn't work very, very efficient. As you see, the 2RS German system is not very easy to manage, and it's a lot of work. It costs a lot of money. For example, the price was about 1,500 euro for 100 meters. So it's 15 euro a meter. It's very, very expensive. Okay. Because to contain the dust, the main findings have established that we have two main dust sources through an implosion. The first one is represented by the exploded columns inside the building, which would be dumped by placing mined system, building, big bags inside the building on the blasting floors. The second one is generated by the impact and the ruin of the concussion onto the ground, which could be stopped by a compact mechanized water fog. So we decided to explore a new way. We placed inside the building a lot of big bags, one cubic meter, filled with soaped water and blown up by a half pound of dynamite synchronized with the shot delay pattern. We did a first improvised test on two big buildings done in France, and we saw there is no dust coming out of the building during the implosion, only during the fall. So the system worked. And then, so we decided to, in the second time, to catch the dust outside the building, inside the big bags. We'll do the work, but we're going to do outside. Our colleagues of demolition company and explosives providers tested some pools with detonating code exploding spiders. So we tested these. We tested these to know the volume of the water and how we have to place the distance between the pools to create a real curtain of water. The test, the first video, it's a very short one. Okay. So we saw the curtain of water climb up to 60 meters high, and there is the time of life, which is very important to catch the dust, was about 8 to 9 seconds, no more. So it would say we have to create a curtain of fabric with a curtain of water, which the lifetime is below 10 seconds. So it's the time which is generally generated by an implosion, okay? So it's the same time. So it convenes. So we did a first real implosion through dust control. Yes, with dust control on 3 buildings 2 years ago. So inside the building, we have the big bags, which are synchronized with the columns. Three columns exploded 3 milliseconds after a big bag will catch the dust, okay? And all around the building, on the ground, we have the pools with spiders explosive charge. So the second one. This was the first full-scale test has been realized 2 years ago. As you see, despite the fact we didn't circle totally the building with the pools, it works, I think, perfectly. So we did the same test, the same job on two other buildings done in Porto, Portugal, and the dust suppression technique is now efficient and I think so replicable. So we see a new video. The last one, please. Thank you. This was the third one. The second one worked perfectly too. And just a smile before leaving. Oh, this doesn't work? Okay, thank you.